Hey, we're live. All right. Hey, you know what? One last thing. Let's drop that link in here too. And that. All right. We're ready to go. We're going to do something chill today because, I mean, you can probably tell by the sound of my voice that I am a little bit under the weather. I'm getting a little better now. I had some of the COVID for a hot minute there, and the cough. I'll try and mute. I still, because it's been a week of me being under the weather. Tanis is sick now too. She's kind of in the height of it right now. I just haven't had time to set up the stream deck, so there may be some moments where I'm not able to mute. If I can, I'll try and, cover the mic. How's it going, buddy? Paul Ferguson, how you doing, brother? Oh, hey. Took me a second. What's new, man? Long time no see. Oh, now I'm rolling up my sleeves here because even though it is not hot. Yeah, well, you know what? We're both, Tanis, I don't think is, hopefully, we're, fingers crossed, not going to get as bad as I did. I couldn't eat there for 2 days because my throat was so sore. But she's just getting the sore throat today, but she's a little further into it than I was when I got mine, so I'm hoping it doesn't get as bad for her as it did for me. But I'm on the mend now. The worst of it's over. I can eat food. And my throat's not very sore. Coughing up some gnarly stuff. TMI, I guess. You know what? While we're just chatting here, do I have my screen set up for this? Oh, of course, let's do that. And turn off. Am I back? Yeah, I'm back. Woof. Woof. That's why you don't stream when you're sick. Can't handle the technical difficulties. Whew. Catching my breath here now that I can now that you can hear me. But yeah, this is my backlog of minis. Uh-oh, it's overflowing. That are unassembled or otherwise not high priority, but I thought it could be fun to go through some of these bags today. I mean, there's a good chance. Oh, I was also saying, if you have some of your art that you've been working on, drop it in the chat. If I haven't seen it yet, I'd love to see it. Might have seen some of them already, but... And there's a few of these that I want to show off that are going to be... We could do some assembly on stream. Open up a window, and then... I mean, I'm not going to inhale any glue because I can't even breathe in through my nose anyway, so... But, there's a few of these. There's one. There's another one. Alright, so first of all, let's just dive into some of the stuff that's already assembled. Stuff that is... I got a couple that are already painted here that I can show off through. Okay, cool. Let's take a look. Do I have this? Let's see if... Oh! Uh-oh. We're flying through scenes here. Okay, I thought this would allow me to... There we go, window capture. Oh, well, for whatever reason... It's not capturing. Here, we'll take a look at it, and then maybe I can drop it in. There we go. Art gallery. Whoa, those are great. How'd you do that, rabbit? Here, let's just do this. I think this will work. Oh, come on. Save image. Let's save it on the desktop, make it easier for myself. Okay. I'm gonna drag it in here so people can see. How'd you do this? Ah! I'm breaking things here. Put that back where it belongs. Grab a rabbit. Drag it back up here. How'd you do that? I'm curious. That's some of the art that you've been working on. Man, that's wild. That's so cool. All right, here, let's clear that out. That's awesome. Just a second. What's up, baby? Oh, he is going. Oh, that's all Photoshop. That's wild. You know, I just got myself a new Wacom Intuos Pro. I'm just using it as my sort of daily driver mouse. But I also have been meaning to get in and try some sketching with it. Let's dive into what's in these bags. The whole point of having the camera here is that I should do it all in front of me. Oh, cool. Okay, so this one. These all have mold release. Sorry, I have a weird thing about certain textures. These all have mold release on them, so your fingers feel so dusty after you take them out. So they all need to be washed before I can paint them. They're technically no primer required, but this is a cabbage that has come to life It's like a cabbage mimic, which I think could be fun because you get different colors possibilities there. Do like a purple cabbage. Oh, you get the Huion. Oh wow, that's awesome. I would like to get a screen tablet eventually, but the budget just didn't have it in the cards. I'm still paying off my new laptop, so this could be fun to paint today. It'd be like a kind of unusual paint. But part of me almost wants to assemble some stuff, but something like start on a bigger project that we could work on over the next couple weeks. But I've already got enough stuff that needs to be done. So let's pull out some of the Marvel Crisis Protocol minis, because these ones, let's start with some of the more recognizable ones. We've got Black Widow here. She needs to be painted. Come on, doesn't want to focus on it. Let's get my finger in there and see if that helps. Get in focus. Is it in full manual mode? Full auto mode? There, let's get it into auto. That might help. Get it up there. There we go. So she needs a coat of paint on her. She's been primed and ready to go. She's a little dusty. You can tell I primed her a long time ago thinking I was going to get around to it. So yeah, she needs a coat of paint. She's relatively easy, but there's lots of little details on her that, not stoked on right now. Same with Crossbones, another Marvel Crisis Protocol mini. He'd be cool, and basically just black and white and then some flesh color. But I don't want to do all these little bits on him today. I'm just not feeling it. I want something that we can just be a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Impressionistic. So there's Red Skull. He could be fun too. But I'm not eager to tackle him right now. Let's take a look at some of the stuff I've already done. I've only base coated this guy so far, but here's Cap. I just did him last week before I got sick, thinking I was going to finish up all the detail work on him, but the shield's still looking a little rough. But everything else is looking pretty okay. He needs all the buckles and stuff painted right now. All the leather is just brown instead of having any detail on the buckles and stuff. But also I decided to paint his star. I didn't want any metal on his, I've seen people do this paint job with silver on the star and silver in the center. Some reason I just really like the just red, white, and blue on Cap. I think he looks cool. And then this one, I'm not super stoked on how this one turned out, but I tried my best. There's Iron Man. He's so technically simple that I think I got a little lazy on him. And I didn't want to try object source lighting. I didn't want to try non-metallic metal, which is that's all miniature painting stuff for. I've watched a million videos on it, but I've never really attempted it. One day, when I'm feeling brave, but I just used some gloss finish and some metallic gold on him to make him look. But the problem is with miniatures, when you try and do things with the real, with metallic, it doesn't really look metallic because the lighting's all wrong because of the scale. But either way, he looks good enough for the table. That's all I care about. Their bases aren't done yet. The only one that's completely done is Spidey. He's the first one I did, and I did him really muted compared to the other two because I wanted to look more like Todd McFarlane, like 90s Spider-Man. Which I think I went way overboard on the muted tones on him because he's very, very muted. But I dig it. And then I got the base down on him, so he's got the metal plates underneath him, and he's got the this big my brain's foggy today, and a little bit of rock that's stuck on the ground, the debris. So those ones are done. So those are the Marvel ones that I've finished. so far. This is an unfinished one that's more fantasy. This is a D&D mini. There's a flesh golem, kind of like Frankenstein's monster take on the flesh golem. I mean, that's what a flesh golem is essentially anyways, but he's got like metal under his flesh and places where he's being stapled together, and those little staples took forever because I wanted them to be all silver, but then to be a little bit like muddied with like the blood red kind of stuff. So I want them to like be like bright silver. I wanted them to. The only parts that I wanted to be like really bright silver were like these like elbows and stuff where it's like sticking right out. Thought it could be cool for those, and like the this part here, this like heart in his chest. Oh, damn it! The focus on this thing is. There we go. The heart in his chest is pretty bright too, because it's like a little like mechanical heart. I thought that could be kind of cool, but anyways, there's him. Oh, he's got broken suspenders hanging off, where those clips are all metal too. He turned out okay. I think he's maybe like a little bit redder than you might like normally do that flesh on, but I wanted to just look a little bit off. So anyways, and then this is the only other one I have that's completely finished on hand. I didn't take out all my minis because there's some sort of boring older minis. This one I got for Christmas from Tanis. She got this for me. Not this year, but I think the year before. And it is a big purple wormy thing that I saw at our local video rental store. Has D&D minis, and this is another Reaper Bones mini, and it is just like, so the base is just so I based this one. It didn't come on a base. It just had this this part basically up. You can see kind of where the seam is if you look around, and I just glued that to another base. And then, yeah, man, you could draw some really wicked stuff that looks like this. We'll dive into some of the other minis that I have here because there's some really weird, dark shit that those are the ones that are fun to paint because you get to get a little bit, you get to use your imagination. That's why I like the cabbage monster. This is probably my favorite one that I've done because I know it looks too slimy, but that's what I wanted. Like when I saw this at the store, I just wanted to make him look like he had all these little like mud scuffs on him. I didn't want him to look like I didn't want him to look like he was pulled out of a book. I wanted to look like he was actually bursting out of some mud, like he just was covered in goo. So yeah, he's very wet. And then obviously he's got his nasty wet mouth too. Anyways, very cool. So let's dig into what isn't painted. This is the first one that I thought could be a fun one to start tackling, but I mean, colors wise, you're not going to get that crazy with the Minotaur. He's kind of, what can you say? He's a Minotaur. So this would be like a medium project. This would be probably a couple sessions. Like we're not going to finish something like this today. Yeah, toss it in the Discord. Let's take a look. Whoa. I love that. It kind of reminds me of like when Adventure Time would get like really dark out of nowhere. And like something like be something really terrifying that like just didn't seem age appropriate for that show. Like when the Peppermint Butler said he wants to steal someone's flesh while they were sleeping. That was terrifying. I feel like this feels like that. Or like it would just come out of something far more innocent looking and then become monstrous. I dig it. Here, let's see if I can drop this one in here too. I think I'm getting the hang of how I do that. This will be saved, so if people want to come back, they want to see what we're talking about. Right now, it's just me and you hanging out, but Scary Fella. That's a good name. Whoa. I did it again where I dropped him in and he was, I like that a lot. This is really cool. Misadventures of Flapjack. I don't think I've seen that. Is that another show, or is that an episode of Adventure Time? I'm showing my... Sorry. I'm showing my ignorance here. Oh. All right. Let's dig through what we got here. We've got this, which looks almost like something from Lord of the Rings. It's like some sort of ghost skeleton king. Very cool. I like him a lot. He's going in the running. There's some of these I'm sure that I'll know I don't want to use, but I'd rather do something that I don't have to deal with. Sort of like SpongeBob on top of the water. Oh, okay. I'll have to check that out. I'll add it to my watch list. You know what? I'm not going to fuck with this one at all. This is really cool. But he's got a warped base, and I don't want to have to deal with busting out like the heat gun, by which I mean literally a hairdryer, and warping him back into place and then having him set up again. So not him today. This is another one that's got a little bit of warp going on. They all will have a little bit. That's just sort of the nature of the beast. But oh, this guy's cool. A little impy dude. Come on, get in there. Get him up nice and close. That should help. There we go. This feels like something from a Jim Henson, like a labyrinth. She reminds me of the Babe. What Babe? The Babe with the power. I don't know what to do with that guy, but I like him. I feel like this is going in the list of things I'm going to paint in the near future. Ooh, these are cool. These are on my list of like need to paints because they're gonna be super simple, and this will be a good chance for me to test some of the come on now, get in focus. We'll do that. That should help. Oh, now my hand's in focus. There we go. This will be good to help test out some of the techniques I've been wanting to practice because this is like a twig monster, and obviously it's not going to be a ton of different colors, but I can work on my shadows and highlights, different just different techniques that I have a harder time testing out on characters where I have like a Captain America where there's a lot of different colors happening on one mini, and I have to really like plan out all the different shadows and highlight tones and really use all the space on my wet palette to as economically as possible. So he's going in the list. This is just a big direwolf. Oh no, it is definitely a zombie direwolf. Well, that's cool. So all these ones I'm showing off right now are from the Reaper Bones miniatures Kickstarter from a couple years ago. And this one is going to be a fucking load of fun to paint. I have another direwolf that is not to this scale, so it would be kind of cool to throw this one on the table next to that one, like a zombie leader of the pack kind of thing. That could be kind of cool. These are all definitely like D&D minis. I don't know what else I would use these for. That's what I got them for. So that I could start DMing some cool table adventures. But then obviously COVID happened. Okay, so I've got a bunch of these guys. I'm not going to show off all of these, but these are really fun. And actually this could be a fun one to do today because it would be super, super simple, but we could maybe play with different colors on this guy. Like maybe he has some, he could be like part gemstone or like little bits of gold or copper ore or something in him. I don't know, but he's fun and he's got really good detail. Like such a good sculpt on this guy. When I first saw these in the Kickstarter, I thought, you know, I don't know if I'm into them, but now that I actually have them in my hands, I love them. There's a handful of these guys, so they could be fun to do like different versions of. Let's see if they're all in here, if they're scattered around. Oh, there's another zombie wolf. Okay, so I got like a little pack of those guys. Oh, here's just a giant otter. I'm assuming a dire otter, I don't know. Or maybe like a weasel or skink or ferret, I don't know. Something of that sort. Maybe not an otter, but yeah. Okay, so there's some cool ones from that smaller box. And I think the rest of these in here, there's some other little monsters and smaller animals. Like I know, I'll show some of these. Just a couple of these other ones. I've got this little dude, which is adorable. These all came with little like mini. There's like child adventurers, like little like sort of like a young rogue and a young knight, and they all come out with their little animal companions. So they're all these cute little young animals. There's a little cub, a little bear cub. He's really cute. And then I saw another one in here, so I'll show you that too real quick, and then and there we go. I think this one probably goes with like the knight or the fighter or the barbarian or whatever, but there's a little ram, a little baby ram companion. Okay. There's another one of these little rock guys, just for fun. Great sculpts. And I think they'd just be so fun to put against your adventurers. Have them fight a bunch of little rock dudes. Anyways. So, on the other end of the spectrum, we have things like there's one. There's some more colors. Oh, you know what? That could be fun too. Yeah, we're gonna leave that out too. Okay. So these aren't the biggest ones I can find, but I don't feel like digging until I find this guy. So, all right, let's take a look at these two. Okay, so. The gem dragon. There we go. No. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, we've been looking at these little guys. There's some big ones that I'm interested to start tackling. Let's take a look at some of these. This is like in the medium range. Not going to take them out of the bag because I don't want to get all the pieces mixed up. But this is a gem golem in here so that you can see that it's like all these little details. The plastic's going to make this hard to pull off. All these little details on clear plastic. So there's coins and gems and all that. It's a treasure golem. So when you put that together, it's just like a monster made of treasure. You can kind of see the shape of him in there. So that's kind of like the medium scale. And there's some other ones in here, like this one's a big armor golem. It came with the Greek Odyssey pack. Very, very big. I mean, even compared to this flesh golem that I already have painted. Like you can see them here next to each other. This guy still stands much, much taller than him. So very large. If you put something that's more like human scale next to him, dwarfs it. So there's that. Throw him back in the golem bag. There's another flesh golem in here, but we're not going to go through all that. It's a much smaller flesh golem, so I want the intimidating flesh golem to put on the table for my players. Okay, now, even a little bit bigger than those. So there's this little base. We're going to kind of scratch assemble this. So this is the body. You can see it's a large four-legged creature with 3 protuberances there. Those are where you glue on the heads, each of them. Large, wolfy dog heads. So that is a large, what is it called? Cerberus? Gotta love when the streamer is just coughing directly into his lavalier mic. So let's see if we can really just quickly figure out if we can piece this guy together. Just for the sake of seeing him on camera. So there he goes. This is not obviously well put together, but so when he's got his heads all in place. He's a quite nasty looking beast. But that's one. That's one that I've been dying to use because I actually really would love to put that on the table. That's one that I would love to run that fight. That combat would be great, especially you throw some like other smaller enemies into the mix against some higher level players. Be a really fun combat to run. Okay, now we're gonna take it to the next scale level. We're gonna look at this guy. This is one that would be really fun. This is an underwater, like, so this one's got lots of pieces. We're just gonna sort of slap it together real quick. Get this clear little stand. Let's pop that in there. So he's a big, creepy beholder kind of looking thing, if you're familiar with D&D. And where does this end up going? This is coming out of here, so he's got a couple of these. Oh, this one goes on that side, so he's like that. So he has a couple of these big lobstery claws. And now if you hold up a little miniature to this guy, like, you could take a chunk out of anybody. So, anyways, that's another sort of scale that we could tackle. Oh, I had another piece there. Good thing I didn't lose it. That was his teeth. His teeth. Okay. So, I don't think we're going to tackle anything that scale today because, again, I just don't think I have the energy for it. We wouldn't make it very far. Could be fun to like do the assembly, the gluing of one of those characters, but I think for something like that, I'd want to paint him in separate pieces before I glue them together anyways, so. Okay, and then I just wanted to show off, not that guy, where is he? Must have already set him aside. Oh, and then this is just like another fun little creature, but we've got through enough. I think the one that's calling to me today is Cabbage Guy. Little cabbage head. Because I did, years ago, I did an adventure that was like a Halloween adventure, and this feels to me like something you could do again for another like Halloween adventure. You know, have them wandering through the fields, have a cabbage come to life and try and eat the players. It seems like fun. So So, I need to decide whether I want to prime this. If I do, that would mean we need to paint something else, because I need to prime it and let it dry. But if I want to just wash it and try and base coat it and do all that, then we could probably get away with not priming it. And I think we could. That's hypothetically the point of these being like the color they are. You know, you shouldn't need to prime them, but realistically you end up. Yeah, I'm thinking like we'll do some like washes on this guy. So we'll start with like maybe a green base. And then I've got a bunch of cool purples that we could like build up on this guy, and then like get right to like up towards the leaves, and then the edges of the leaves. We'll bring up some reference and see what cabbages look like. But yeah, we'll grab all the colors we need. First, hang tight. I have to go wash this guy off with a little bit of soap and water, otherwise the paint will not stick to him, because he has not been washed since he was taken out of the mold. So you can tell because your fingers, like I said before, get all chalky and gross when you're handling these. So that being said, let's get these out of the way. Put them back where they belong later, or keep them aside for future streams. But for now, I'm thinking we'll pull some paints, I'll rinse this guy off, and we'll get started. Give me 2 minutes. All right. Hopefully you're still hanging out. If not, then I'm... Damn it. Then I'm going to be chilling and painting some purple cabbage here on my own. But so I've got out the wet palette. One of the things I need to do before I actually start putting any paints on this is smoothing this out. That's better. So if you're not familiar with it, right on, you're still hanging. All right, brother. Okay, we're gonna spare you this. I'm gonna mute for 1 second while I blow my nose. All right. Now, one thing I forgot about is let's take a look and see if this thing needs cleanup. Okay, so there's one little spot that could be cleaned up right there. So I'll grab a hobby knife and a file. We'll clean that up. But otherwise, I don't like the mold lines. Luckily for something like this, were probably along areas where it was pretty easy to hide, like along the actual edges of the cabbage. So I don't see any really obvious mold lines. There's one on the base here. But that's about it. And I feel like I cleaned this well enough. Hopefully. We'll find out when I start putting paint on it, because if it doesn't stick, well, yeah, you'll be able to tell. Now the question is, when we get in, well, let's look at colors here. Before we dig into that, we've got a collection of purples here. We've got a limited selection of greens. I thought I had more greens than that, but we'll work with what we've got. And then we've got the earth tone. Oh, wait, no. This is another purple, isn't it? Yeah, we got orchid purple. So I got a lot of purples. 3 greens. So my priorities aren't exactly in check. We got a black and a white that we're going to use. And then we've got a couple of browns that I thought might come in handy for little bits. Obviously, we're eventually going to have to do the ground around it. We're going to want to do the, there's like a spiky tail off of this, along with the like stalk of the other cabbage. And then it's got little like, I don't know if you can see this, but it's almost got like little chicken feet. Come on, put it right there. Yeah, it's got like little clawed toes coming off of it. So we'll need to decide what color those are. Like, we'll probably want them to be some sort of earthy tone, so that it like looks like it would blend in. But I think if we start with just base coating the cabbage, I think we'll base coat the feet in some sort of light or brown, medium sort of tone brown, so that we can add highlights and shadows. And then this will probably be maybe a purpley greeny kind of tail. We'll do the spikes in some sort of bone color, I think. And the teeth will be somewhere from white to yellow. I think yellow, like leaning heavily towards the yellow side of that. And then inside the mouth, I think we got to make it like, I don't know what the mouth is going to look like. Like, This is going to be disorienting. Get a shot of the Ninja Turtles on the wall, though. All right. Battery died on the camera. Unfortunately, I don't have a wall charger for this thing anymore, so that bought us another hour and a half. Oh. Check, check, check. How's that? That's better. Okay. All right. So, I think the first thing to do is just start with our... Oh, Jesus. Oh, Lord Jesus. Okay. Yeah. I like Audrey as the cabbage head name. Audrey 2, of course. Let's go ahead and I think we do the whole base coat on these in green, and then we layer the purple on top. And I may regret that, but I think if we water down the purple and then glaze it on, I think that's going to look really cool. But there's only one way to find out. So I think for the green, this is like the most cabbagey green that I have. It's literally called leaf bud green. It needs a really good shake though, because it is separating in the bottle. So this is why I wish I had a paint shaker. I see guys on YouTube who have like little things they put it in. It's like an industrial paint shaker. Just like vibrates the thing back and forth for a minute, and then it's completely unseparated. But instead I have to sit here and wank it off in the air for the next... I just got the most horrified look from Tanis. What? It's an accurate rep. I am not vile. Well, that is rude. Okay. Okay. So we're going to start with this. And I think we'll add a little bit of like a darker green, but let's see what this looks like once we get it on the wet palette. Let's put it somewhere where you can see it too. Actually, you know what? I almost think it needs to be even lighter than that, so maybe we'll mix a little bit of white with that. All right. The white's not as bad, so we're not going to go to town on it as we're doing the other one. So this is not like a pure white. This is a bleached linen. It's got a little bit like of a almost like an off-white gray tone to it, but I like it for this kind of stuff. Not separated, is it? No. Okay, good. You know what? For this, let's get vanity out of the picture and just go ahead and shrink my webcam. Ugh. OBS can be a pain in the ass sometimes, I swear to God. It just doesn't want me to do. Look at the dark green. Yeah, I think I think at least for now, we're gonna get a little bit of all of these out on the palette, because we're gonna need different tones. Because I think what we're gonna do is we'll first start by building up the greens. So I think I'm gonna lighten down some of that leaf bud green, and we'll do that as like the main base coat. Let's get our base coating brush. Oh, I do not have water. I'll get up and do that in a second. So we're going to start by mixing a little bit of this. A little bit of that. Grab a little bit of this. Maybe put those a little too far from each other on the palette here. That feels pretty cabbagey. I don't know. Let's put a little bit of it on this guy and see if it's even going to cover. So let's get it in here. Let's put them right here. Yeah, that's not going to cover without any primer. That's a pain, but that's okay. Like I said, we're trying to do a bit more impressionistic on this guy, so we need to do a couple coats, that's fine. Oh man, yeah, getting coverage with this is going to be a pain in the buns. So many nooks and crannies. I almost want to wet this down a little bit. Just like, it is already pretty good, but that's the beauty of using a wet palette. It's not ever going to be dry. That's got to be pleasant. I'm so sorry. Hopefully this cough starts to chill out a little bit today. What do we think of this so far? Like, I know right now it's pretty hard to tell because it's very, very glossy. It is separating. It's not really covering. Because I was lazy and I should have primed this mini, but you know, shit happens. But you can see as I put the, I mean, I'm sure you can see, maybe you can't, that sometimes as I'm putting the paint on, it like peels away, and that's because even though I cleaned this, washed the mold release off of it, I think some of it sorry, no matter how well you clean this thing, it's just gonna still be stuck in all these little crevices and nooks and crannies. It makes it hard to get paint to stick to this thing. So hopefully the paint actually stays on here and it doesn't like crack and come off, but hey. Like I said, price you pay for laziness. And I am just sort of very lazily mixing on the palette, so we're not going to be super dear about... Oh, Bryce, I didn't even see you in here, brother. How's it going, man? Say hi, Tanis. Hey, Tanis. Bryce is watching. Say hi.
What?
Bryce is watching. Say hi.
Oh, hi, Bryce. Sorry.
We're both coughing up a lung here, so I've been trying to cover the mic earlier in the stream while I'm doing this, but Yeah. As you can see, my hands are busy now. And I'm on the mend, but this is still this is still how I sound, unfortunately. Yeah, I agree. Once I get the darker tones in there, it won't be too bad. And because the look we're kind of going for here, I like that the gray's kind of showing through, because as we start to pile things on, it's going to add a little bit of tonality to the base coat. Because, I mean, we don't want it to be solid, leafy green. And once we start glazing on the purples near the edges. Bryce, in case you haven't seen yet, I haven't held this still long enough. This is a cabbage monster. You can see his teeth there. We're glazing on some like cabbagey leaf green. Let's get into the inside of the cabbage here and just start plopping this on. Oh, it is really not wanting to stick in there. Look at that. Well, that's problematic. Oh, I am getting a little bit too cavalier with this paint on my brush. I need to be careful that it doesn't get up into the into the top of the brush, because that is a way to kill your brush, and it is getting up there. So let me just grab a bit of water so it doesn't. Streaming when you're sick, like literally the dumbest idea.
No.
Yeah. I just can't stop coughing.
We'll grab a Halls.
Oh yeah. Would you mind?
I'll get you one.
Thank you. We're just gonna share some of my drinking water with this painting water. Excuse me. Oh, hey. Hey, Paul, you changed your thingamabob. Your picture. Your profile picture. I'm talking with a paintbrush in my mouth. Thank you, baby.
You're welcome.
Oh, thank you, dude. Of course. Well, the last couple weeks I've been streaming just to get back into it. 1 week I built the Adam West Lego Batmobile. And then next week I just went on for like 20 minutes and just to keep up the habit and showed off a little After Effects tutorial kind of thing. Sorry, I'll put this back on so I have a little bit better sound. The other ones make you seem like you were an anonymous. That's funny. Ooh, ooh, ooh. We've got cough drops. We've got water. I'm ready to go. Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna do some more coloring. I've got Jared. You know Jared, right? You guys must have crossed paths over the years. Jared sent me some, Jared Laxer Sent me some Pokemon stickers that are like coloring. It's like a coloring book of stickers, and then once you color them, you can stick them and stuff. Anyways, it's Pokemon coloring, and I thought that would be a fun way to get back into the coloring stream. Plus, Jared sent them to me so long ago, and I just have not taken up to... I mean, he literally put them in the mail and sent them to me, so... Okay. I thought maybe you would have met him at the doghouse, one of those, over the years. He went to school with all of us. Oh my goodness, there's still paint in the hilt of my brush, and I need to get it out of there. It dries in there. Oh yeah, Jared's one of the best. Everybody loves Jared. What? Yeah. He was never in Kiss the Dog, but he did shows with us all the time. Well, maybe not all the time, but he did a few shows with us here and there. And he was at the house from time to time. He had his own thing. He did a lot of... He was the year after us, but... I want to say me and Jared are the same age. I could be wrong. I'm bad at keeping track of that stuff. Ah, damn. All that hard work keeping paint out of the hilt of my brush. Don't paint sick, friends. You'll get... See, the reason you don't want paint up in here... Let's see if I can... up in... I can't remember what it's actually called. I keep calling it the hilt of the brush. That's not true. But when you get paint up in here, it dries, and then the tip of your brush starts to spread out. And then, obviously, you don't have the nice point that you can have on a brush, which you need when you're painting minis, because this is a base coating brush. Base coating brush. So it's not as important, but it is actually still really important, because even when you're base coating, there's small areas on minis that need to be reached. I mean, obviously with this guy, there's no like little details. He's vegetative, you know. He's not as crazy. Oh yeah, 100%. Sam and him hung out a bunch. Yeah, he's back in. He's living back in New Jersey now. Now, me and him were hanging out a lot there for a while, but it's just, I mean, I haven't been hanging out with anybody lately, so I haven't seen Jared in a few months. We chatted just the other day, though, so I'm hoping he's doing okay. Got to get him out here hanging out with us one of these days. He actually messaged me the last few times I streamed to say, "Oh no, I missed your stream." So I should have messaged him to tell him today that I was going live. But who knows? I don't want to assume people are free on Saturday to come hang out with me. I only do this on Saturday because for me, I do this because I want to capture the feeling I had. And I'm sure you've heard me say this before. You've sat through enough of these streams to have heard me go on and on about all this stuff. Oh, sorry, I'm not holding this in a good spot for the camera. But I do this to sort of recapture that feeling of sitting around on Saturday mornings as a kid when you had, like, you know, you weren't being forced to do homework or any of that stuff. You just got to sit around and do fun stuff. And I thought, what better way than to just hop on stream and recapture the feeling of watching Saturday morning cartoons where the stakes are low. Any high stakes stuff that comes up is wrapped up by the end of the half hour. That's the vibe I want to have here on the stream. Oh, you guys are gonna be living together. That's awesome. So, but you weren't in Toronto, right? Are you moving back to Toronto? I would just message Sam the other day. I hadn't talked to Sam in months, and I finally just shot him a message. I think I saw something that made me think of him, and I sent it to him. It was probably a tweet or a sign that I saw. It's usually what ends up making me finally reach out and get a hold of Sam. The thing is, once we get on the phone, we'll talk for hours, but me and him have a way of falling out of touch and then reconnecting big time for, a nice hour-long conversation or something like that. But I guess that's being an adult. Growing up's not that bad. The hard part is you don't see your friends as much, but the good thing is when you're an adult, you don't get so caught up in all the bullshit that you did when you were younger. So it's a lot easier to stay in touch with people because, you're less superficial. So when you run into people, you just fall back into step with them. It's great running into old friends when you're older. Because when you're younger, you run into someone you haven't seen in 10 years. So it's like, who the fuck is this guy? When you're 30 and you run into someone you knew 10 years ago, it's like, hey, you're basically the same. We've both gotten fatter, but other than that, we're basically the same dude. Maybe a little less high octane than we were, but you're in Leeds. Okay, that's what I thought. Move in June. Right on. So you've got all your paperwork and all that stuff figured out. I feel like that's got to be a total pain. Best friend is the one where it feels the same every time, no matter how long it's been. I agree, 100%. Sam's definitely one of those guys. Never feel like we're, never feel like things have changed all that much. I mean, obviously we're not living in the same city anymore, but now my chat is a little out of sync, but I see something else. Oh, there we go. It takes a second to catch up. So chatty. No, I appreciate it. It keeps me talking. Otherwise, I'm sitting here brushing one color onto this. Now, in case I'm sure you've already figured it out, but the problem I'm having here is that the paint keeps separating because I clearly did not wash this well enough. So the paint keeps separating on this thing, and it is becoming a pain, which makes me almost want to strip the paint and go back to priming it, but I'm not going to do that. You got right. You've told me this, that you had your daughter is here in Ontario, so that must have made it a little bit easier to do the paperwork. I'm sure, right? Hopefully they're a little bit. But I mean, I never believe that our immigration system is fair in any way. So, I mean, we've proven that time and time again. Don't make it easy for anybody. Strip it. I agree. Okay. Now, because that is a bit of a process, I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to be disappointing. But since you're my audience today, we're gonna do that. But the thing is, I'd have to actually get out stripper. I'm a child, and actually take that off. So what we'll do instead is we'll grab something. It's already primed. I've got a few. I'll grab some primed minis, and we'll see what we want to tackle. Do some painting on. Or we could prime something. It doesn't take that long for it to dry. In fact, how's this looking? Oh, okay. So, obviously there's the Marvel minis. If we wanted to, we could do Baron Zemo. And we could keep with the purple. And this could be fun. How about this? Baron Zemo with his purple mask. A lot more detail. We'd probably just get base coating done. But he's got his nice... come on. Let's get that in focus. He's got his sword. He's got his leather jacket with the fur-lined bits. And then, like, yeah, purple mask. He's got his, like, purple shirt with like, the, I don't know, I feel like we could do, like, a cool, like, almost, like, leopard print part for this, like, fur embellishment on his jacket. So that's an option. There's option 1. Yeah? Okay, let's just go for it. Because we got all these purples out. We're going to ignore the green. We're going to work around it for now. But let's figure out... Okay, so this is... I feel like this one's calling my name because it is Monarch purple. Ooh, there was a spill when this paint shipped to me. This is Monarch purple. That's one that I think could be really cool. Let's get a little bit of... We're just going to put our purples out. Just a drop of them. I based this guy in black because I wanted him to be like a darker... Oh, shoot. We're going to... For now. And let's see. Let's just go like this. So that's our Monarch purple. Let's focus on the purples. There we go. No, that's going to make it worse. We're going to go like that. Okay. And then this is the other one I'm thinking. Wild Violet. Let's look at the bottom here. That's Wild Violet. This is what that Monarch purple looks like in the bottle. It's very dark. Which actually, now that I think about it, based in, because this was based in black, it'll work. That is our Carnival purple, which is another one that I kind of like. Let's give it a nice mix. So that's another darker one. This one's really dark. It's black indigo. So I don't think this is going to go on the mini. Maybe for shadow stuff, if we wanted to do something with the shadows. And then this is our bruised purple, which is like almost like a brown purple. Which is really cool. But I don't think that's got any place on the mini right now. And orchid purple is the other one. That's a more muted, but lighter than the other ones. So those are options. I think the ones that I'm most excited about are that first one I put on, which is the Monarch purple. I know it's dark. And then this one could be a nice base coat because... Oh, yeah, that's got to be it, right? That feels like Baron Zemo. Let's get a reference. And I'll put it right on the screen. Oh, shoot. How am I going to do this? I don't have my keyboard accessible because I've piled everything on top of everything. I have a plan. A workaround. Let's find a Baron Zemo. Here we go. Here's somebody else's paint job. And that's a good place to start. So let's copy that image. I'm going to send that to myself. There we go. Now I can just drag and drop it right into the scene. Alright. Reference time. So yeah, man, seems like a no-brainer to me. So this is somebody else's paint job. I liked it. I mean, I'm I'm not going for like complete originality here. I don't care. I just don't care, if I'm honest. Oh man. Good thing I'm gonna be out of isolation. I mean, technically today's the end of my isolation, but I don't feel good about going out when I've been sick just yet because I still have this cough. So we're gonna hold off. Okay, let's get the microphone back on me so I'm not quite so far away. I think we're gonna just go right in. We're gonna have to do gold too, so we're gonna do it yellow. So let's get. I'm crowding myself. Let's get stuff out of here. Okay, so here we go. So these bits here are going to be gold. These parts on the side. Wow, I should always paint like this. Alright, let's just go for it. I'm going with just straight up this purple on him, I think, to start as a base coat. Let's see. Oh man, I wish I could paint looking at that screen, but let's just do this. Let's get him on there. Oh, that coats beautifully. Look at that. A little shakier than usual today, too. No surprise, you know, being that I have COVID. All right. Now I kind of wish one thing about this, which is that I would have painted his head before I put it on the frickin' mini. Oh no. Here we go. The one thing I don't have is paper towel to clean my brush. So we're just gonna get the paint off of it, and then I'm gonna dry it off in my palm here.
I'll get you a paper towel, you goof.
Thank you, sweetheart. Just need to suck some of the paint out of that crevice there. There we go. So let's take a look at him. Got some purple on there now. Oh, thank you. Let's lift this up a little bit. We're gonna find where it's gonna be most comfortable for me to hold the mini. Right around there, I think, is probably our best bet. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot easier. Okay. And go. I'm just trying to work around the spots where his like gold plates are gonna be. Hey, that worked. I'm gonna get my control back here. Okay, now let's just get the other side. Come back in and do the eyes at the end. Just do them in like a... What is his eye? I guess his eyes are just going to be like Deadpool style. Or it's going to be kind of just like a white. Over it. Now, I need a good look. Let's get him on camera here. Where's that? He's got a gold plate at the front too. Oh man, it's gonna get a pain in the ass. Okay. Alright. Like I genuinely, even if I'm not streaming, might just start turning this camera on when I'm painting. It makes shit so much easier to see. Now the fucking nightmare is going to be painting that gold band that connects these. I don't know how well you can see that. Let's get my hand behind this again. There you go, now you can see it. The gold band that connects the gold headpiece bits. Because, I mean, I'm sure you can tell the scale. Like, I know it looks a lot bigger for you on the screen. But I didn't think my shaky hands could handle it either. But you know what? You get into a rhythm. And with these, like, normally I would use a handle for these. Like this. And I might, but I don't think the handle I have, the bases I don't think fit. But I can always throw some sticky tack under them and then use something else. Oh, I cannot get an angle on this guy right now to get... There we go. Right up to the thingamabob. All right, well, there we go. That's starting to look like Baron Zemo. That's cool. My lighting is not optimal for capturing this right now, but oh, that actually, I think that helped. Thank you. You're the best, sweetheart.
I know.
All right, there's the main purple. Now, come on now. There we go. Now, there's the purple for his mask. I know on the reference we've got right now, he's got like a, you know, like a different purple for his body, which I'm going to do. But I don't think I'm going to do it the way they did, because they've got almost like a more like reddy purple for his mask, and then like a more muted purple there. I think we're going to use the Monarch purple, which is like a dark, dark purple for his chest, which is going to look even darker because he's been based in just black. I'm almost tempted to have him in a black leather jacket because of how cool this looks right now, but I think we'll do like a nice like dusty brown. I think we'll do a lighter brown, like a less saturated brown than theirs. I want it to look kind of like an old beat up leather jacket at the end. So we'll figure that out, but let's rinse the brush a little bit. Dry it off with a paper towel. Get all the pigment out of there. And let's grab some of this. You can see here, we've been using this one. We're going to switch to this one. And this one might not show up very well on camera at all. Not going to have much of it, so let's see what we can do. Okay. Ooh, that's nice. That is a nice, rich purple. Oh my god, it's so dark that I cannot even see where my brush is going, and you clearly can't either because I am out of focus again. Let's just set it to a fixed focus. What am I doing? Uh-oh. There we go. Multitasking. How's that look? Nope. Okay, that is better. Okay, that is so extra. We're going to do some line working here eventually to try and clean all that up when we go through and do all the details. But we're just base coating right now, so that's pretty good. We're going to go with it. And I don't think there's any places where it's showing through the back, is it? Nope. So then for his pants and everything else, we're going to get a lot more simple. So let's take I think we're going to take the oxide brown that I've got and mix it with the ashen brown. I didn't grab all of the browns I have, but let's take a look. So we've got oxide brown, which is this like chocolatey kind of brown with an orange tinge to it. So it'll make good rust kind of color, but I think it's going to be nice for this leather, especially when we mix it with ashen brown. So let's and we also have a little bit of black here if we need it. But I think we're going to make it nice and light. I don't know. I know that like the hide kind of color is what that one has, like sort of like an orangey, yellowy kind of tone to it, but I kind of want it to be a more muted thing. So we'll find the color we want here. It's not going to be perfectly in focus for the next little bit because, okay, not quite what I was expecting. Uno momento while I go digging through the paint cupboard. Also, the beauty about working with acrylics on such small scale is that that is just dry as a bone. It's very fun. It does mean that mixing on the Mini needs to be done immediately, so you need to have all the colors. Ooh, it's gonna need another little touch up, but yeah, he's looking okay. Doing those eyes, he's gonna suck. Got other brushes for that though, so I think, and I could be wrong here, I think this is what we're missing. Oh, that is just thinner. That is not. It's just completely separated. Well, that sucks. And that's why you don't just add it right to what you're mixing. Please be good now. It's still separated a little bit, but no, it's like completely separated. Son of a gun. I need a little paint mixer, but for today, mix that a little bit here. Add that to this. And hey, look at that. What do you know? That's kind of the color I was going for. A little bit more of this. More of that, please. There we go. I want it a little bit more muted than that, but hey. I feel a lot better about putting that on my miniature. Okay, let's get to it. We're not going to fuss too much about what we're doing here. There's some details. We're not going to worry about missing them or anything like that on the way through. We're just going to paint it up. There are some elbow pads that I want to make sure I do in their own kind of shade, but so there's what he's looking like. That's what I was hoping for. Beautiful. I wasn't sure if that was going to work or not. And the great thing about basing it in black is that all of those recesses maintain a little bit of that black, so you get some nice like tones happening. Try not to hit the elbow pad on this side either, just because I wonder what color we'll do that in, the elbow pads. But anyways, back to the paint and then get it on the Mini. Let's get them covered. Let's not fuss about. And then just like the reference we're using, I think I'm just going to use white for the fur embellishments, but maybe do a little bit of like a leopard print, a leopard, like a snow leopard kind of thing on the lapel. Now, it's not coating perfectly, but as you can see, like compared to that cabbage we were trying to paint without priming earlier, the fact that I've already pre-primed this guy so he was ready to paint makes such a big difference, because sure, it's not coating perfectly, but that's not a problem because we can just come back in. I mean, I should wait longer than I just did, but come back in and add a little bit more once it dries. So it'll be fine. I need to get a little bit closer. This is going to shake the camera a bit, but here we are. All right. Let's flip him up this way. And the good thing is, like, I'm being a little bit over precise about where I'm trying to get with this, because realistically, all of this is going to get painted over again later anyway, so I don't need to be too precious about this. Get in and get it covered. The one thing I want to make sure I'm not letting happen is letting paint pool in the recesses, because then we lose detail. And like there, you can see there was some paint pooling there. Well, you might not be able to see it, but it is happening, and if I leave it for long enough, it will dry in there. So I'm just trying to make sure any place I'm seeing things like pool up, we're just gonna make sure we get in there and stop that from happening. Now this one, this is a little easier. Oh, he's got another fur section there, which I did paint onto it a little bit at the bottom there, didn't I? Maybe not. No, that's good. Just gets a little thinner at the back. My eyes. Okay, you know what? That would be easier to look at here. So, okay, yeah.
God, sorry.
It's okay. What's up, sweetheart?
I was gonna help focus that a little bit, but
Yeah, this focus ring here should still. Right there?
yeah.
Okay. Can you see the? Yeah, there's peeking on, right? Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. He's starting to look swashbuckly. And then he's got his metal cuffs, which I'm not looking forward to doing. Because, like I said before, metal doesn't look like metal at this scale when you do it with metallics. I just don't know how to do fake metal. Like, some people are really good at that kind of thing. Basically doing, like, what they call it non-metallic metal, where you actually draw, like, use different colors to paint fake specular highlights on the metal. And yeah, it's above my pay grade. I'll get there someday, but for now, I just want these to be ready to go on the table so I can go to my local game store and play some Marvel Crisis Protocol. Yeah, that's my TED Talk for today. I just want to get these ready to go on the table. All right, I'm just gonna do a little. It's funny going from that camera to this camera. This thing turns into like a grain of rice. Now the brown's not coating as well as the purple, which I kind of expected because I dropped all that thinner by accident, that big drop of thinner from the separated paint into that, which is a pain in the ass, but I didn't want to completely trash the paint I had, so we'll just have to do a couple coats. One thing I do need to make sure I'm doing is going back through and pulling paint where I can from the spots where it's pooling, because I guess that means I need to clean my brush though. What am I doing? And the good thing is you can always use your brush as like almost like a little vacuum. And oh, yeah, you're not gonna be able to see it there. See where this paint like built up here? I can go and use the paint and it'll suck up the extra paint that's on there. Got to get there quick because it does start to dry rather quickly, even in places where it's pooled like this. And we don't want to lose detail on the Mini, right? Like that's like my main concern is that when I'm done, all this detail that they've sculpted into this thing needs to still be there. So even though the paint's not coating particularly well right now, I don't want to, you know, I would rather do multiple coats than like leave it in there to dry. Plus, obviously, it's gonna take fucking forever to dry. If there's pools of paint in anywhere, like it's not gonna dry properly. So, and you can't see it, but I've got an old piece of paper towel here that Tanis very kindly ran and got for me when I said I forgot to bring it. So, we're gonna go against the grain now and try and cover some of the areas that it didn't cover before. Just gonna get. Oh man, this paint is so thin, which is a good thing because you want the paint to run, right? You do want that. You want good flow. But like I said, that extra drop of just pure, not thinner, I can't think of the word, but the liquid that is in with the pigment, it's the stuff that makes paint. Reggie Watts, yeah, man, that TED Talk is fantastic. Literally just like word salad or word soup. Word soup is alphabet soup. All right, I'm digging my own grave here because I'm painting over stuff that's half dry, so I gotta move on. So I actually kind of like that it's just kind of ugly right now where the darker parts are showing through. It looks like a shitty old leather jacket. We're not going to leave it like that, but I am going to kind of embrace that for now, and we're going to move on to something else. We're going to paint some of these fur parts because we need something bright on this to start making it pop. And I don't want to do the gold bits yet because I'm going to wait until I'm moved on to my next stage to do that. Like the very end of this, we're gonna do that. I can't decide what color I want his pants to be. I'm almost thinking another purple, like a completely different purple. Maybe that bruised purple. Mix it with a little bit of brown. Where did he go? Bruised purple, right? Because it's kind of like a browny purple already. And then mix it with a little bit of that ashen brown that we have. Let's see what that would look like. Let's do a little spot here. I guess I could refocus while I'm doing this. And then, right, we already have the other one on the thing. So let's go pull some of this out. It's like a bruise. Grab some of this. Yeah, I think that's the color I'm going to use for the pants. I know it's ridiculous, but I just kind of dig it. Like, I mean, he's Mr. Purple, right? Like, why not go for, like, a nice purple-brown on the pants? Oh, damn it. I need to refocus. I forgot. And I need to make sure I'm holding the mini in the right place. Right up to his nice leather boots here. Oh, I gotta keep him in the place I'm keeping him if he's... The colors are not working for me today. Like, I'm not super stoked on where everything's at, but we're playing it by ear, and I'm not. Usually I would plan something like this, like get an idea of what colors I want to do beforehand, but maybe this is good for me. Just test it out, see where it goes. Oh my goodness, I am not a paint streamer. This is not my niche. Maybe I will be someday. For now, this is I'm clearly not used to how to control where the mini is on camera. All right. Okay. Well. Yeah. Sure. I'm going to use that linen white to base coat these bits. Oh, we got a stray hair here coming out of the brush. All right. Hmm. I've gotten very quiet while I try very hard not to spoil any of the work I've already done, painting white over it. So, okay, there's, oh, we're out of focus again. There's, first, so again, we're base coating, so this doesn't need to be perfect right now, but there's a bit there that I'd like to add some more white to. There we go. Okay. So that's not bad. We just need to do the collar around his neck, which is the part I'm most nervous about, because obviously I don't want to overdo it. Oh, before I even get into that, though, I have to just realized I've missed a spot on his head. So we're going to get a little bit of this. Oh, it's going to be wet because my brush was very wet, so just going to be very careful and get in there. Oh, boom, boom, boom. There we go. Okay. The paint was a little too wet. Yeah, that is overly wet. We're going to dry that brush right off. Suck that paint out of there. And let's grab some more paint. A dab will do. And there we go. That problem has been fixed. Still a little wet, but we can get it out of there and we should be good. Alright, I'm happy with that. Let's go ahead and finish the collar if we can. We'll also need to do the fur cuffs around his jacket. Then we're going to go back in with the brown, touch up the leather again. And yeah. Oof. Oof. All right. In the other room, I can hear Tannis watching Friends, and she's watching the episode where I can't remember what the context of it is, but they're playing Celebrate Good Times on the bagpipes, and then Phoebe starts trying to sing along to the bagpipes, and it is very funny to hear, like, through the wall in the background. Okay, so you can see the collar's starting to come together. We obviously are going to need to add more to this than just white, but we'll... You can see that they've done a good job on that reference photo of doing a nice, like, kind of like off-white fur color. I thought this bleached linen would be off-white enough. I think it's still a little bit too white. I mean, it's literally called bleached linen, so it's obviously supposed to be pretty white. Come on now. Oh, I'm just off frame there. Oops, went a little over the line there, but it's good because we're going to go back and touch that up. All right. Look at this guy starting to look like a guy. I'm really looking forward to trying to do the snow leopard kind of thing on that one panel, just like a little like dots. But rather than doing dots, we're gonna do like sort of flecks of paint. I don't know. We'll figure it out. You know what? We're gonna go ham on this because I'm gonna come back in and do the parts next to it again anyway, so we're not gonna be too dear about getting paint on other things at the moment. We're gonna just make sure we get coverage on these fur cuffs. We'll deal with the metal part later. We're gonna clean up the jacket, so this is lazy Dylan time. Trying to avoid getting too much white on the sword at least. But all right, messy but done. And now for the other side. Oh my god. Talk about messy. Alright, what time is it? You know what, we'll probably do this for another like half hour here. I think I'm probably going to wrap it up pretty soon today. Just because I just wanted to hang out, do a little bit of painting, but I don't think we're going to get this guy done. But what I'll do is if I finish him during the weekend, or if I hop back on, if I start painting him again, I'll post. I will post pictures so everyone can see the progress. You know what I've just noticed is I have not been paying attention to the chat. I saw that you said BRB. Okay, good. Nothing since. So you're probably still missing. So you might have missed that actually, Paul. But hopefully you're back before I end up taking off. But okay, last bits of white on this guy. Now the one thing about this is that I'm just, kind of thinking about now is this is a little. I've got this guy and Red Skull are both Captain America. They're Hydra. Which means they're kind of like little mini Nazis that I'm painting, which, I guess that's not uncommon in wargaming, but not stoked on it. But, they're fun to paint. They're villains. We're not painting them to celebrate them, so we're painting them so I can put them on a table and beat them up. Okay. All the fur bits are basically done. Now let's go back in, make this the base coat for the leather jacket just a little bit nicer than it is right now, because right now it looks like a hot pile of trash. Now the paint over here has been running a little bit, so I'm going to just try and get an approximation of what we had before. Let's see how it looks when I start dropping it on. Yeah, it's a little bit more reddy brown, but we're okay with it because we're just going to be okay with it. Okay, now that is starting to look like a nice leather jacket. The color has shifted because the paints ran together, but you know what? We're going to accept it because the coverage is good. The color is not that far off from what I was hoping for, so. Oh, shoot. Look at us go. Oh no, I've painted over his little elbow pads. Well, let's do it on this side too, and then we can come in and add a different, like, darker brown to them. But I hate when I do that, because now I'm going to have to pick them out by texture rather than by just having left them be from the beginning. But, oh well. Hey, you got pizza. That's a fucking great idea. I might do that later today. Whew, pizza would be good. Okay, now that you're here, very important question, because I think this is probably the last couple bits we're going to do today. Nope, I've wandered off from the focus again. Sorry. Problem with painting, you need to rotate these things around so much. I need something with a wider focus than what I've got right now, but unfortunately, my other cameras just need new lenses to be able to use them for this kind of stuff. They're better cameras than the one I'm using right now. So I've got two Blackmagic Pocket Cinema cameras, 4K. But oh shit. Okay, well that's okay. That's easy to set up. There we go. That's already so much better. Pretty good base coat on this guy. So I'm thinking we'll probably keep the most of the belt black. I like the black belt on this guy. I'm thinking we will do the boots black. So now it's just a matter of, I mean, we're not going to leave them this black. I'm sorry. We're not going to leave them this black. But I think what we're going to do is, to wrap it up today, I just want to figure out what color we're going to do these. Oh my god, you can see my gross fingernails. I need to clip them. These little cuffs right here. And also you can get a sense of how big my finger is compared to this freaking tiny little miniature. That's the tip of my finger. We've got the cuffs to do here. Also, I should say, like, when you put him, like, back here, like, out of, like, close-up range, like, hey, look, that's not too shabby. Like, I know he's still messy because I'm in the middle of painting him, but, like, put that on the table, not so bad. So, I think the last thing we're going to paint on this guy today is just the cuffs. And I don't think I'm going to handle the gold on his head yet, because I just don't want to grab another smaller brush right now. It's just more cleanup for me to do. So I think I can do those gold cuffs or silver or whatever. So I want to use metals, but I think the only metal metallics that I have are like a bronze, or we could do like a bright yellow to simulate gold, which I'm fine with because these are comic book characters. So maybe something like this. I've got this lantern yellow. That could be like a cool stand-in for gold. And then we also have, don't have silver, but I do have, oh, where is it? Oh, here's a gold. Oh, okay. So we've got gold. Gold. We've got lead. And we have one more. Where is it? Could have sworn I had another metallic in here. Maybe not. I guess not. These are the only metallics I have right here. Got Balthazar Gold, and Lead Belcher Citadel paints. We'll probably just use them right out of the pot because they are. I'm not gonna suck them out of the pot to put them in the. Also, don't put metallics in your wet palette; they'll ruin your sponge. If you ever do decide to do this kind of stuff. Yeah, it's a good way to ruin a wet palette. Lead Belcher and Balthazar Gold. Any thoughts? Or we could do, and I kind of like the idea of doing like a cartoony, bright yellow for the as gold on this guy. These are our options. Balthazar Gold ends up looking almost like an Aztec gold, like something out of Pirates of the Caribbean, you know? Let's drink some water. Might stop all this coughing. Gray or light blue. Now, you know what? I'll show you what I have for blue. Where is it? I thought I had a light blue in here. Yes, this is the lightest blue I have. So this won't work for silver, unfortunately, because it's like very greeny blue, but I have this spectral glow for ghosty stuff, which I think is going to be great when I start doing some of those translucent stuff. And I don't have a really good gray right now. I do have a gray, but it's a darker gray. Nothing that looks silvery gray, like a light gray. We could make a gray. You know, we got white. We got black. I mean, it doesn't. They also could be leather cuffs. You know, they don't have to be metal. They could be kind of a leather cuff on his leather jacket. Metal's cool though, because you know he's got to be blocking bullets and shit. Because he's a super guy. Gold. Okay. Now, so our options for doing gold are basically these two. I mean, we could do other ways of doing it. But I do like using the lantern yellow because it's going to be so in your face. And then what I can do is I can tone it down with some white, and then come back in and do some highlights. I can actually try non-metallic metal on this one because there's so little metal on this guy that if I completely bungle it, it's not going to be the end of the world. I am really liking how this guy's turning out. I really like that I went with like the dark, almost black purple on his shirt under the other purple, because it looks like it's not purple, but you get up close and you go, oh shit, yeah, that's still purple. Still purple. Okay. Go yellow. Let's do it. Let's refocus so you can see what we're doing here on the palette. We can do better than that. There we go. I did not need that much, but we're gonna live with it. Okay. let's start by just adding some of this and see how it looks, and then we can always tone it down. Oh, refocus your camera. Oh yeah, I think this is going to look epic. Okay, this is going to take a couple coats, clearly, but wow, that is such a bright, bright yellow, but it's going to look so cool. Let's dab a little bit more of that on there. Luckily, because it's such a thin coat, it's going to dry up nicely pretty quickly, so kind of just go back in already. Just layer a little bit more of that on there. All right, let's flip them over and make sure we do the other side. Break on through to the other side. Break on through to the other side. All right, we're good. Okay, let's just make sure I don't have any buildup here in any places. Go around to the other side, let that dry. Actually, I'm just going to give it a quick... Yeah. I think that's going to look cool. We'll do a little bit of yellow on this side. I think we do a gold sword too, so we might as well just embrace gold on this guy. Like I need to make a Baron Zemo dancing overlay. I can on here from the Captain America and the Winter Soldier. I think that's what that was from, wasn't it? It was a meme for a hot minute there. One of the it memes. Yeah, that's gonna look frickin' epic. Okay, you know what? I wasn't gonna do this, but let's go in. There we go. Get a little bit of this on here. Just the first bit of it. We're going to need a smaller brush to do all the details, but there we go. Just so we can see him with his... Like, I can't do the band around his head with this. I have a tiny, tiny brush that I can do that with, but... What I'll do, I think, for the sword is I'll add a different yellow. So I'll take something like this oxide yellow. So it's like a tarnished kind of yellow. And then we'll add some we'll brown it up. And then, or I could use that bronzy gold just in the hilt. I don't know. We'll see. We'll fuck with it. But for today, I think that's going to be it because, for one, I'm starting to feel a little bit of the sickness, tired, weighing in on me here. But also, just the regular exhaustion that comes from leaning over a little miniature and painting for so long. But I'd say that he's starting to look like Baron Zemo. The one thing that's going to be tough is trying to... Yeah, underpaint. Good call. Good call. I really want to try and highlight some of these. Maybe if I do a little bit of a wash, we'll get some of those lines on him back. But anyways, like I said, we'll wrap it up. Thank you for hanging out the whole time, man. Hopefully I'll be feeling better. I'm feeling a lot better today even than I was yesterday, and it's been like that for a couple days now where I've just been improving. And technically, I think I'll do a test today just to find out so that I feel confident that if I do go back out into the world tomorrow, I'll be okay. But I am technically done my isolation period according to what the government says I need to. But I'm not going to go back out. Obviously, I'll be wearing a mask either way, but I'm not going to be going back out until I test negative on a rapid test. So hopefully tomorrow I can get out into the world. I wanted to go to the comic book store and do some comic book shopping. Here, let's do this real quick. And get rid of Here we go. Bye, bud. Take care. And thank you. You take care and have a good evening too. And let me know when you're back in the Ontario land, and we'll hopefully me, you, and Sam can get together for a beer. Sans the COVID. All right.